Hello, and in today's video I wanted to talk about using the right shutter speed when mapping. I decided to cover this because I came across some posts where maps had turned out poorly because of motion blur, and I believe that could have been fixed simply by just increasing the shutter speed. First, let's touch very briefly on the exposure triangle. To get the correct exposure, you can adjust three things in a camera: the shutter speed, which controls how long the sensor is exposed to the light; the aperture, which controls how much light is let in by adjusting the size of the hole the light comes through; and the ISO setting, which controls the sensitivity of the sensor to light. Each of these changes have secondary effects. Making the aperture wider creates a narrower depth of field, which affects how much of the image is in focus. Raising the ISO allows you to take photos in darker locations, but introduces noise into the photos, particularly in the dark and mid-tones. And a fast shutter speed freezes motion, whereas a slow shutter speed will blur any motion. Most of the time, we only care about ISO, aperture, and slower shutter speeds when we're doing more creative things like creating artful blur effects. But when collecting data for mapping, what we want is pin-sharp photos every time. And one of the best ways to do that is to set your shutter speed as high as you can without raising the ISO so much that it introduces noise. Fortunately, almost all cameras have a setting that helps you to do this, which is called shutter priority. Using shutter priority enables you to lock the shutter speed at a specific value, and the camera will automatically adjust the aperture and the ISO to compensate and create a properly exposed photo. The correct value will depend a lot on the specific model of drone you have. When mapping with the Mavic 3 Enterprise, I try to keep the shutter speed at or above 1000, which is just 1/1000th of a second. And I try never to let it go below 800 except in very special circumstances. For other drones, you might need to go even higher, as the Mavic 3 Enterprise has a mechanical shutter, which also helps to eliminate blur. So, how do you do it? Let's use the Pilot 2 app as an example. When you start a mapping job on Pilot 2, there are a couple of screens that most people just click through. But if you stop on that second screen, you'll see an item called Camera Mode. Change that to S for shutter priority. When you do, you'll be asked what you want to set the shutter speed to. Pick a number from the drop-down and the camera will take care of the rest. Once up in the air, you'll find the exposure settings are grayed out. If you decide that you want to change the shutter speed for some reason, then you will have to pause the mission. When you do that, the shutter speed becomes available and you can make any adjustments and restart the mission. I tried three options here: 1000, 1250 and 50, just to show what can happen. The 1000 and 1250 photos both look good. With the shutter speed of 50, we have very noticeable motion blur. If you need to go that low on shutter speed, then you will have no option but to stop the drone at each photo. You might need to experiment a bit to get a value that works for your setup, and it will vary depending on the lighting conditions, but over time you'll start to figure out what gives you the best results pretty quickly. In most cases, a faster shutter speed will be all you need. But other things also affect motion blur, such as how far away from the target you are and how fast the drone is flying. So if you're still having trouble, you can send the drone higher or slow the drone down. Some software like DroneLink even has an option to cause the drone to stop while it takes each photo, which can be a real bonus in low light situations or with some very slow cameras. Before we close out, I did want to touch briefly on ND filters. Like sunglasses, ND filters are used to reduce the amount of light coming in. While this can be great for creating beautiful photos with realistic motion blur or those lovely smooth waterfall photos, it's not going to do you any favors when mapping. So for mapping, leave those ND filters in the box. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. As always, I'd love to hear from you, so feel free to leave any comments or questions, and I'll see you in the next video.